Trump urges Republicans in Nashville to get out and vote. The White House doubles down on drug boat strikes. And Elon Musk says AI can save the country from crippling debt. I'm Daily Wire Executive Editor John Bickley with Georgia Howe. It's Tuesday, December 2nd. This is Evening Wire.
President Trump is calling the special election in Tennessee a big deal and is urging Republicans to surpass his 2024 margins in the district. Daily Wire reporter Lyndon Blake has more.
Trump made the remarks in a Monday night tele-rally for Matt Van Epps, the Republican candidate running against Democrat Afton Bain in Tennessee's 7th congressional district. Voters are hitting the polls today, closing out a race that has drawn millions in outside spending, as Democrats believe they have an opportunity for an upset. Trump told the crowd last night, quote, "This is a big deal because right now we're like 3 votes up on the radical left, and this would be a wonderful victory for us. It'll be a really positive sign." The Daily Wire's been on the ground in Nashville talking to voters. Here's what some of them told me.
Just keeping this congressional district Republican, that was my biggest thing. Some of Afton Bain's views weren't really what I'm wanting to see change in this district.
We want economic change, and we want to feel like our taxes are going to things that matter and not just stagnation. I feel like that's what we've been for a while here, and I just want to see some progress.
The White House is doubling down on its authorization of lethal strikes against narco-terrorist groups. The Trump administration confirmed yesterday that U.S. Navy Admiral Mitch Bradley ordered a second round of strikes on a Caribbean drug boat earlier this fall. The Washington Post had reported that War Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered the military to, quote, kill everybody on board the drug boat, which, according to anonymous sources, prompted a second strike on 2 survivors. In a press briefing yesterday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt rejected the idea that Hegseth gave that particular order and defended the administration's position.
President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have made it clear that presidentially designated narco-terrorist groups are subject to lethal targeting in accordance with the laws of war. Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law.
Then in today's cabinet meeting with the president, Hegseth did not seem deterred.
We've only just begun striking narco boats and putting narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean because they've been poisoning the American people.
Former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James may not be off the hook yet. The Justice Department may seek new indictments against both of the Trump foes after a judge dismissed the previous charges it brought against them. Politico reports, quote, 2 people familiar with the cases who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe ongoing internal deliberations said the department is strongly considering foregoing an appeal and instead asking 1 or more grand juries to re-indict Comey and James.
A man who has referred to himself as Osama bin Laden and Timothy McVeigh is now facing criminal charges after allegedly threatening to kill federal immigration officers and sexually assault their wives. Daily Wire immigration reporter Jenny Terr has the story.
The FBI says that John Paul Cupp of Portland is a prolific producer of content involving aggressive rhetoric, calls for war against the United States, anti-Semitic threats, and threats of violence, who is zeroed in on immigration and customs enforcement personnel and their families. Assistant Homeland Security Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement shared with the Daily Wire, quote, "Our ICE law enforcement officers face an 8,000% increase in death threats against them, while they risk their lives every single day to remove the worst of the worst, including murderers, rapists, pedophiles, terrorists, and gang members."
In a move that drew near unanimous support on the House floor, lawmakers on Monday issued a clear message. Those who took part in the Hamas-led October 7th atrocities in Israel will not set foot in the United States. Here's Daily Wire senior editor Joel Needler.
The No Immigration Benefits for Hamas Terrorist Act of 2025 sailed through the House by voice vote without objection. Republican Tom McClintock's bill targets anyone who, quote, carried out, participated in, planned, financed, afforded material support to, or otherwise facilitated the horrific Hamas attack on October 7, 2023. The bill explicitly includes members of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad and had 18 GOP co-sponsors. While Democrats largely signaled support, Jamie Raskin quibbled with naming specific attacks. McClintock countered that there is precedent, including the ban on members of the Nazi Party and the Palestinian Liberation Organization. He said, quote, "Does anyone seriously argue that we should repeal the sanctions against persons who aided and abetted the Nazis' Holocaust? If not, why oppose extending the same sanctions to the Nazis' would-be modern-day successors?"
The Treasury Department has launched an investigation into claims that Minnesota tax dollars were funneled to the terror group Al-Shabaab. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the probe Monday, saying, quote, "At my direction, the Treasury Department is investigating allegations that under the feckless mismanagement of the Biden administration and Governor Tim Walz, hardworking Minnesotans' tax dollars may have been diverted to the terrorist group Al-Shabaab." He added, quote, "Thanks to the leadership of President Trump, we are acting fast to ensure Americans' taxes are not funding acts of global terror."
This episode is sponsored by the University of Austin, Texas. You know college is broken. Activist professors, seminars that feel like struggle sessions, $80,000 a year to hear Hamas chants on the quad while being told America is evil in class. So what's the alternative? It's called the University of Austin, or UATX. At UATX, students are in small seminars taught by great professors. They read the great books of Western civilization to learn from them, not tear them down. They build actual companies on campus with mentorship from a vast network of top entrepreneurs and investors. You can be openly Christian or Jewish without apology. And when you walk into the main atrium, there's a giant American flag. UATX admits students based purely on test scores, so the application takes just 5 minutes. Oh, and another thing. Tuition is completely free. Forever. It's funded by American patriots who want to create the Navy SEALs of the mind, not another generation of credentialed activists. To apply to the University of Austin, visit uaustin.org. That's UAUSTIN.org.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is calling for a full travel ban on potentially dozens of countries. Daily Wire reporter Zach Jewell has more.
Noem said on Monday she had met with President Trump and pushed for a travel ban on all countries that have been, quote, flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. The move comes as the president has paused asylum claims from 19 countries after an Afghan national allegedly murdered a National Guardsman in Washington, D.C. Noem posted a statement on social media saying, quote, "Our forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom. Not for foreign invaders to slaughter our heroes, suck dry our hard-earned tax dollars, or snatch the benefits owed to Americans. We don't want them, not one." Noem did not specify which countries would be included in the travel ban under her criteria.
The crypto sell-off is gaining serious momentum. Bitcoin plunged more than 6% earlier this week, its steepest drop since March, falling over 30% from its October high. The drop-off is sending ripples through the digital asset market, dragging down Ether, Solana, and crypto-linked stocks like Coinbase. Analysts say many investors are pulling back from risky trades amid growing economic pessimism. Some are even warning Bitcoin could sink as low as $60,000.
Elon Musk believes there's one way out of America's trillion-dollar debt: robotics enabled by AI. He explained his claims over the weekend on the podcast A Different Conversation with Nikhil Kamath.
As long as civilization keeps advancing, we will have AI and robotics at very large scale. If you have AI and robotics and a dramatic increase in the output of goods and services, probably you will have deflation because you simply won't be able to increase the money supply as fast as you can increase the output of goods and services. My guess is goods and services growth will exceed money supply growth in about 3 years.
The Irish language, Gaelic, once outlawed in Northern Ireland, is undergoing a powerful resurgence. Daily Wire assistant editor Andy Valdez has more on the trend.
The suppression of Gaelic is tied to English colonialism and the state's attempt to quash Irish identity in favor of a United Kingdom identity. Once only spoken in hushed tones in private homes, now Gaelic language schools in Belfast are growing rapidly as parents push to reclaim the lost heritage in the public square. Bilingual signage also marks a local government-level embrace of the language. But not everyone is on board. Opponents say Irish identity is a threat to the Union because it could be a step towards reunification with the Republic of Ireland to the south.
And Pope Leo XIV convened with other Christian leaders last week at the archaeological site believed to have housed the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. In 2014, an aerial photo exposed the clear outline of a submerged church beneath a lake in Turkey that led to years-long excavation efforts. The Council of Nicaea was a pivotal event in Christian history, formalizing Christian doctrines in what is still called the Nicene Creed. It's believed that the church may have become submerged due to earthquakes and changing lake levels.
Those are your drive home updates this evening. To learn more about these stories, go to dailywire.com. And in case you missed it earlier today, we covered some major stories, including negotiators saying they've made big progress on a Ukraine peace deal as diplomats head to Moscow, Luigi Mangione's legal team attempting to strike key evidence in court, and the nation's highest court weighing in on online piracy and who's responsible. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another full edition of Morning Wire.